Hello there, everyone. Welcome to the Corner League podcast. My name is Daniel. I'm joined with Mio, Sunil, and Terence. And today
Pre,
we're doing
pre,
Premier
pre.
League. Today we're doing Premier League predictions. Date of the recording is 13th of August. Brentford just won against Arsenal spectacularly today. I could
It
not
was
have
not. There
asked
was
for a
not. There, no, no,
better
no, no, no,
opening
no. There
fixture.
was nothing spectacular about that. Arsenal were
I
so bad, brother.
That's why it was spectacular.
I did
Wow,
call it, to be honest. I did
brother.
call it.
Brentford were average. Arsenal lost that.
Doesn't matter
No,
if
I don't think
Brentford
I
were
don't think
average.
Brentford were average.
Brentford, I actually think they played pretty decently. I
They
only
were
caught
average.
part to the second half,
Move the
but
ball.
for the part I watched, they was pretty good. More than I expected of them. I expect them to
Nah.
just sink straight back down.
You put
Oh
too
wow,
much faith into Arsenal, don't you? After I warned you too.
brother. Who puts faith into Arsenal, dog? Anyway, move on.
Me and my FPL. That's who.
Yo, move on, dog.
So today we're doing Premier League predictions. So the transfer window is not closed yet. There's still 2 or 3 weeks left, but I think it's the best time to do it because the season's just starting. So fixtures will be coming in. And for the most part, I think the rumors that we're hearing would give us a good enough idea of where players are going to be going before the window ends. So this is, I think, the best time for us to do our Premier League predictions. We haven't done a podcast in about 11 months, but hopefully we can be more consistent this year. And just that's supposed to laugh. Today we're going to cover our top 4 predictions. We're going to cover the relegation battle. We're going to cover the rest of the European places, that is the Europa League and the Conference League. And we're going to cover some individual awards. So, Golden Boot, most assists, most clean sheets, all that stuff.
So wait. So just to clarify, because there might be people out there, not me, that might
Of
not
course,
know how
not
the
you.
Yeah, not me, definitely. Not, who might not know how the conference league qualification works. So elaborate for them, not me, you see me, dog.
Basically, one of the Europa League places, the last Europa League place, is given to the Conference League, to put it simply.
Oh, say this. All right, no problem. So that's 7th, right?
7th or 8th,
Yeah.
depending on the FA Cup.
Yeah, 7 or
Alright.
8 effect.
So let's start with the top 4. Who wants to go first?
I guess
I
I'll
mean,
go
we
first.
could have just do it from 4th, go up.
We can just group the top 4 in one and just like explain who's outlandish.
Outlandish. To mind going to seem outlandish after today.
Speaking of outlandish, Sunil, Arsenal in the top 4.
Listen, yeah.
Wow.
I might want to revise that last one, isn't it?
No,
Uh,
how do you put Arsenal in the top 4? What did Arsenal do?
Alright. Now I actually don't want to go first.
Alright, fine.
Okay. I will go first, I guess. Alright. My top 4 is City win the league, Chelsea second, United third, and Leicester City take it back up.
Leicester City in the Champions League over
Mhm.
Liverpool.
Even though they're underrated, I think that from the January to February period, Liverpool is going to struggle. Especially the
I mean, if
Arsenal.
you think about it, Liverpool's season last season was just really hammered with injuries. So if they have a better one this season in terms of their injury record, I don't see who knocks them out.
But so was Leicester
Excuse,
City. So was Leicester City. Man.
Exactly.
That's fair.
And to be fair to Liverpool, I mean to Leicester City, they had like more pressing injuries. You see me, dog? Like their
Yeah.
injuries were more severe. You see me? Like
And
the injuries that everybody talks about for Liverpool was like Andy Robertson for 2 weeks. There was
Trent was out for a while, and Van Dijk was out for almost the entire season.
Yeah, I know Van Dijk and Gomez and Matip. Matip's always dead anyway, so who cares? You see me? Alisson.
Liverpool,
But for the most part, for the squad in of itself, it was like mostly a series of knocks that people just kept crying over for what reason, you see me?
Yeah, but while that's true, Liverpool essentially played the season without any centre backs. Remember, Henderson had to start in at one point.
I mean, City did that too. City didn't drop to 8th though.
Well, I think the difference with City is that City's squad overall is just deeper.
That's
Because
fair.
That's
City,
fair.
when City
Right.
had to move someone like Rodri in defense or Fernandinho in defense, they had another player that could slot in. When Henderson had to drop in defense for Liverpool, there's no one at Liverpool that can replace him in the squad in terms of as a midfielder.
Well, but
No,
to be
that's
honest,
debatable.
that's
Debatable.
debatable because Klopp doesn't use his players, so when they came in, they're like rookies.
No, but the
Because
leadership that
Keita,
Henderson produces in midfield, it can't be replicated that easily.
but
Not to mention
but
the fact that
but we
Henderson
all
helps bring
No,
Trent
but
into the game.
here's the
Remember that?
tangent to that as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's just about leadership.
No,
When
I get that. Like it's a teamwork thing, and like the essence of Liverpool doesn't really work without teamwork. I get that, but here's the thing as well. Klopp really could have done that anyway. You see me? He didn't have to use Henderson in centre back as long as he did. He never played Ben Davies once. He barely played Ozan Kabak. He
I
Reece
mean, he
Williams.
had good
Davies
reason to not play Ozan Kabak.
No, Ozan Kabak is thing there.
is
It's blown
different.
out of proportion. It's
It's
blown out of
different.
proportion. Trust me. He was good. Well, relatively
And
good. He was decent.
and to also address it,
Okay.
I think that necessity has really solved their four issues since last year. Barney just went off.
Yes, I have to agree with that. Iheanacho's form, if that continues, they signed Daka
They
and
said no out is
Vardis.
good.
Dog, hot take, hot take. I know that we're going to do these later, but like hot take, dog. Daka is the flop of the season, dog.
I can see that
Uh,
happening. I can
I
see that
don't,
happening.
but
I don't think
at least I made a stand. One thing I remember is that Liverpool.
Because these things happen all the time, dog. These things like when you realize, say, yo, you have to step up into a top goal scorer shoes in the first season, dog. Nah,
I
isn't
mean,
me? If
I
Daka,
already
don't think. I
Daka
don't
won't
think.
have that responsibility though. Daka's more of a
a deep
Fabio
line,
Silva like player that
yeah.
they're at the club to develop. They might get a few games if like Vardy gets on up, then he comes off the bench for Iheanacho. But I don't think Daka's going to be thrown off the deep end unless Leicester gets
You won't.
really
Nah,
hammered with injuries.
that's
He
debatable.
will be playing at two as well. He will play with Iheanacho. I see them
Because
play
he,
no.
Exactly.
And
I think
just
Leicester's biggest concern is whether Arsenal is going to sign Madison. Because that creativity in their midfield might be something that they lack if
how is
Madison leaves.
Arsenal
Because
probably
it's
But Madison, Leicester played a large chunk of the season last year without Madison.
yo,
yeah,
Madison is
but
I
crazy.
don't think they
but
suffered
they didn't
that.
get Champions League though. They didn't
yeah,
get Champions League.
but he still had 13 goal involvements, which is like huge for that short
Exactly.
time.
So Madison isn't irreplaceable by any means, but it's late in the transfer window. So if you lose Madison, say next week,
But then
then
again,
the chance of you getting in a player that's of his quality to replace
No,
him
but
is really low.
no, of all teams though, to do that, you'd back
I do
Leicester
trust
to do that.
Leicester. Yeah, I really do back Leicester.
That is
You'd
true.
back,
That is
yeah.
true.
You'd back Leicester to do that. Plus, Yuri Tillemans is quite the creator. You see me?
That is
Exactly.
true as
Whether
well.
he can play in camp, whether he
They
can
can
play in camp.
partner
Whereas
NDD
if
and Kamari and use Tillemans further forward in case
whether him can
Madison
play in
goes.
camp is neither here nor there, dog. But them got the creativity through him, man. Don't worry.
Okay, so
And my
my
last point,
top.
my
Okay,
last
okay.
point on the top four and why Liverpool will make it is because they haven't really signed in the forward. And do I see not Marley, Salah carrying them for one game? Maybe. So that money has been decreasing from season to season. For me, there's basically dead and Jota is good, but we did put up 13 plus goal involvements in the Premier League.
I mean,
Yeah,
was
I would back him to
Jota's-
just as a top baller, dog.
I think I'd put rather Jota start over either Firmino or Mane personally,
I don't see
because I think he's just that more effective for them.
Depends on Firmino. Firmino's there's one thing. That last season teach me that Firmino is a big mood baller. He's a big mood baller.
Also true. So my top four is similar to Mills, but I have Man City, Chelsea, Man United, and then Liverpool in fourth. So
In what
hear me
specific
out.
order?
City winning the league, Chelsea second, United third, Liverpool fourth. So here's my reasoning. I think City is getting Kane. I don't see a world where Man City doesn't get Kane this summer.
I don't see a world where they get him, to be very honest. But at the same time,
If Man City submit a $150 million bid plus
you never know
add-ons,
leave big boss.
there is no, There is
but
no way Spurs turns that down. I am
even once
Uh,
you,
e-
even once you
even
have
if
50
they
million,
even if they can't replace Hurricane this summer, they're not getting that kind of fee for Kane again. If they even sell him next summer, at most they're selling for 90, which is albeit still a good price.
I mean, all
But
right.
you're never getting 150 mil for Kane again.
Here's the difference, though. All right, look at when we sold Hazard. Yes, I mean, we didn't really have a like the first season when Real Madrid came in was like, well, not the first season, but the first season where we started to look properly into it after you won the FA Cup in 2018. Yes, I mean, they were coming in with like big bids. Yes, I mean,
But
but we
here's the
never really.
difference. You
Huh?
can't really compare it with the Hazard situation because
No, I'm showing you.
Chelsea.
I'm not comparing it fully. I'm just showing you a piece of it. You see me? So when they did that, we didn't really have a replacement apart from like Wilf Zaha, because Sarri wanted Wilf Zaha. You see me? And we couldn't get him because he signed a new deal. Was that the right time when he signed a new deal? I don't think so. But anyway, Crystal
They wanted
Palace,
60. They wanted 60, and we weren't gonna give them 60.
yeah, something along those lines. You see me? So it's the sense of like if this Kane deal, if even if they give like Kane 150 million, like at this point they can't even get Martinez because Inter already sold Lukaku. You see me? And they're not gonna sell Martinez for probably not even 100 million because they sold
well,
Lukaku.
that's debatable
In
because
fairness,
that's
Well,
debatable because they're still considering the bid actually. They haven't ordered.
in fairness,
I don't think they'd be mad to do so. Come on, because
I
even they're
mean,
getting Edin Dzeko as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. Let's be
I
fair.
mean,
So
I
why would they
mean,
want to lose Martinez?
but looking on
I don't.
how they sell
Inter is
Lukaku,
not selling. Inter. I don't see Inter selling both of their star strikers in one
Exactly.
season.
So
Even if they are financially ruined, they still need to keep players so that they are at least in the Champions League. Because overall, even if their finances suck, if they manage to stay in the Champions League over time, it should be able to be fixed once
but
they
we don't
smarten up
know.
their business.
But we don't know how bad their finances are.
True,
And
but I'm
at the
just
start
being
of this summer,
generous.
this is
I don't.
trouble, and now
I
he's
don't
gone.
think it's as bad as we're letting on because they just
They've
signed Denzel
yeah,
Dumfries,
it's not bad, dog. It's
and
they've
not
made
you're
that bad.
looking
almost
you're looking at
200
Duvan
million in
Zapata.
sales. They've made almost 200 million in sales. So
True.
if that's not enough to keep them up, I think they would have been much more desperate to sell Lautaro.
You and Arsenal.
Arsenal was never in the
Yeah.
report. He was never going to Arsenal
So
this period.
back to my reasoning. So Kane at Man City gives them the lethal goal scoring threat that they haven't had since Aguero, and I think they just I won't say walk the league, but they are almost certain of the league at that point. I put Chelsea second because Lukaku is a monster. Like you look at the amount of chances that Werner missed last season, put Lukaku in those positions, Chelsea would have destroyed the league.
Here's the thing as well. I want to say this before. Not that Lukaku isn't capable of blitzing defenses, kind of like Timo Werner, but he's not somebody who specifically operates in that way. You see me? He's more of somebody who's going to like receive the ball and turn. You see me? Rather than just somebody who's like, I'm going to absolutely ruin this defender's life with my off
Yeah,
ball
but
run, and
Chelsea,
him can
but
barely mark me. You see me?
But I
compared
think
to when Lukaku was at United, Chelsea actually are equipped to give Lukaku those chances. You have Alonso, you have
No,
Reece
no, no, no.
James to
Because
deliver
again,
crosses
like
into the box.
no,
You
what I'm trying to
have
get at is Timo Werner. A lot of the chances that were actually made by him. You see me? So when he
Fear.
made, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But the fact that Lukaku and Timo kind of operate different in that standpoint, you don't really know how much chances we're gonna get out of Lukaku. It might be a lot. It might be a little bit. You see me?
I mean, look at how Werner and Havertz linked up, especially in the Champions League final. If you
I
have that
mean,
kind of movement, if you have that kind of movement with Werner, creating that much space for Lukaku, give Lukaku any sort of space, he's scoring from anywhere in the opposing half. I guarantee you that. He's
yeah,
that deadly.
I'm not entirely sure that Timo Werner and Lukaku are the partnership going forward.
I
Because while
mean
I say that Timo Werner, well,
Timo Werner and Lautaro Martinez can achieve the same aspects. Yeah.
ish. Is I mean they're Lukaku. I mean Lautaro Martinez is more the presser and the He's kind of like Timo in a way, but he's not somebody who's gonna like ruin our defense with like his off ball pace. You see me? So,
All
kind
right,
of
so
yeah.
after Chelsea, I had Man United in third. We had a really good summer, but without the CDM, I don't see us competing for the league. We might challenge, but we're not winning it. I
You
don't see
don't
us
have
winning
faith.
it.
You don't have faith in Ferdinand family. But that double pivot.
I don't like Fred. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I like his spirit, I like his passion, but Fred. And if starting to get that one more time, I think I'm going to lose it. So
Right, that's what lose it then.
without a Ruben Diaz, without a maybe even Kamavinga, without a Saul,
What you
anyone,
mean?
NDD.
like
NDD.
anyone at all.
I already know.
NDD, if we could break the bank for NDD, which I doubt because we already spent so much money this transfer window, any one of those signings or Bissouma, anyone at all, I would take in a heartbeat and say that we could challenge for the league.
What does
But I just
Wilfred
don't see it
Ndidi
happening.
really do different from what Fred is going to do? To be very honest.
Not be stupid in tackles.
NDD puts up more defensive numbers, to be honest.
No, I mean, of course he puts up a lot, but Fred does the same.
And
I don't
also,
think.
indeed, he passes better than Fred. Because that's my biggest thing with Fred. Because I have no
No.
problem.
At
I
the
have
same
no
time,
problem with a defensive player who racks up a lot of cards and fouls once they're not like very stupid fouls. My
That's
problem
narrow.
with Fred is that when he gets the ball, like when he actually wins the ball, he doesn't know what to do with it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Fred is a good player in that respect. You know, people like to. I'm not going to say the S word, but people like to really hate on Fred a lot. But like Fred, from a pure defensive standpoint, is
He's
not a
good.
bad player.
He's good. He's good defensively. But we need a CDM that's going to transition us from getting the ball to getting us onto the counter attack. Because that's where we're deadly.
So wait, specifically, I want to know something. I want to know something. Is it that if you were to bring in somebody, would you play them alongside Fred, or would you just want to take out Fred completely and put in a defensive midfielder that can do everything?
I mean, this formation that Solskjaer wants to play, allegedly, this formation that Solskjaer wants to play has only one CDM. So I'm assuming we'd have Pogba on the left, Bruno on the right, and then the lone CDM, which currently is Matic. So preferably we just replace Fred. Maybe we play Fred in like a game against like Man City, where we just need someone to just take Kevin De Bruyne or take Sterling or take Grealish out of the game entirely. But like we're playing Leeds tomorrow, I just want someone who's going to take the ball and get us on the counter attack.
I mean, today that's not Fred's game, and it's not Fred's fault that he suffers from that. Because what I think Fred should do is win the ball back and lay it off to a creative midfielder that will be beside him, and he does not have that. McTominay can't play football,
Yeah.
so if you have Fred and McTominay, who really is going to progress the ball? So if you're putting all that on Fred and asking Fred to put you guys on the counter just like that, that's a more a United tactic thing more than Fred. Because if Fred is just asked to
let me
put
put
the ball
this
off,
tangent.
Fred can do
At
that.
At the same time, is Ndidi the best at that? That's what I'm trying to get at. Isn't me? He's more.
Honestly speaking, Ruben Neves or Kamavinga are probably the best options in terms of CDM.
Overrated, dog.
I would personally prefer Kamavinga because he has years ahead of him, and eventually he would be good at just becoming that next big midfielder at Man United if he fulfills his potential. But I would take Ruben Neves this summer for 40 million. And then I have Liverpool in fourth because a fully fit Liverpool doesn't miss out on Champions League, in my opinion.
Interesting.
All right, I'll go. My top four: United, City, Liverpool, and Chelsea fourth. First of all, I have Chelsea fourth.
Wait. You put Chelsea in fourth?
That's
Chelsea.
Interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
Reason being, we haven't really addressed any issue that we have. You go say Lukaku. Listen to me. Lukaku can just as well have the same season that Werner just had.
That's not a lie. That's not a lie, dog.
He can have the same season, and what do we do then? We suffer. And it's not like a Chelsea thing. It's just a striker thing. So I'm betting on Lukaku to not have a great season. But he can, and I can be wrong. And even if he does have a great season, we can still finish fourth because a fully fit Liverpool are back-to-back UCL finalists and league winners. And a fully fit City team, who I have second. I'm not sure about the midfield. City's midfield is very weak. But I think they can pull off a second because Pep just creates winning machines, and I think they'll go on a run. But I think United will be consistent throughout the whole season until it wins.
What makes you think United have any form
Because
of
they
consistency?
starting 11 in the league. They
Listen,
do.
listen.
United have the best starting 11 in the league, big man.
Exactly.
Think about
What is that starting 11?
De Gea.
What is United starting 11, to be honest?
If it
United,
was to be the best, hold
United.
on.
All right,
Hold
wait.
up,
Let me
hold
tell
up,
you
hold up.
United's best starting 11 right now. Either De Gea or Henderson, if Solskjaer could finally make up his mind on which goalkeeper he wants. We have Luke Shaw. I'd argue one of the best left backs in the league based on form. Maguire and Varane are potentially a good centre back partnership. Wan-Bissaka, slightly iffy on the positioning, but still a solid right back. We have either Fred or McTominay or Matic in CDM, which is a very big weakness because they'll be by themselves. We'll have Pogba and Bruno as centre mid slash cams. Which
So wait, Christian, before you continue. Why does Ali want to change from the 4-2-3-1 that did so well last season to the 4-3-3?
I think
more
he wants to
attacking.
press more. Yeah.
It's more attacking. It's more attacking.
That's
They-
interesting.
This formation lets people go
United
forward
never
more.
had an issue scoring goals.
Wait, is it more attacking or is it take control of the game more?
Yeah, it's a formation that allows you to hold the
I get
ball
it, because
more.
you have trouble in counter. Most of the times you will rely on counters, and you have trouble against all black teams. I get it. Move on now.
So the front three, we have Rashford on the left, who's injured until October. We have Cavani, who's missing the first 3 games of the season. Then we have Sancho on the right. We have Greenwood as a backup as well, and Martial, who, for the love of God, I don't know why he's just so.
Why is Martial still at the top?
I don't know, but as things stand, as my
It's a
best
solid
11,
first team. It's a solid first team, but I wouldn't put
it's
that
more
above
than a
City's.
solid first team, brother. Especially considering the deficiencies that a lot of teams have right now.
No,
Is it?
but compare this to a Man City with
Why
Ederson,
not?
Zinchenko, Diaz, Stones, Cancelo. You have Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Foden, Grealish, Sterling, Kane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, depends if Kane comes or not. But
Don't forget
hold on. My thing is United only really lack a CDM in their formation. To be very honest, isn't it?
City only lack a left back
A
when
left
Kane
back,
comes.
centre back. They lack a left back, centre back,
I
striker
wouldn't say
at the moment.
I wouldn't say they lack a centre
Centre
back
back.
I
because
lack a world
Centre
class
back.
centre back.
they have Diaz,
A
they have
world
Laporte,
class.
and they have Stones. I think
The
they're
only-
fine at centre.
the only
Stones is
problem
not
is that
world class.
the only problem that Stones is just very inconsistent. Laporte, sorry. And Diaz.
Laporte is though.
Laporte,
I'm willing
if
to put
Laporte
Laporte in
comes
that
back
world class
into-
category. I'm willing to die on that stone.
Yeah, Laporte is world class, but if Laporte gets the chance to be world class again and Pep actually give him some confidence again, you see me, dog?
Not only does City have a better first team in my opinion, but they have a much better bench.
Yeah,
True.
no, that's why I said starting 11 because bench no team beats City.
Like if Pogba gets injured, if Pogba or Bruno gets injured,
Okay,
or if both of them get injured, United are. If Maguire gets injured, United are. Straight up.
Yeah, but Maguire is a solid player. How frequently will he be injured, if ever?
We said the same thing about Van Dijk.
you just have to the constraints.
Van Dijk was a freak accident.
Maguire got injured at the tail end of last season, and it almost ruined our second place. We almost slipped down to third.
All right, listen to United's story. Last season, I remember vividly, United started so poorly, and they finished second.
That's
First
true.
point, United know they just know how to win because of Bruno Fernandes. I put it down to Bruno
Is something
Fernandes.
that I
Also-
will always praise Solskjaer for. He instilled the mentality in the club that they will never give up.
And
That's
listen
something
to this.
That's something that sometimes you just can't teach. You see me? People want to. I can't say that, no man, brother. People give managers like Solskjaer a hard time because they're not tactical geniuses or whatever, brother, and they're not willing to like change things on the fly. And
Sometimes you just need a passion merchant.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a passion merchant. Sometimes you just need somebody who knows the team, who knows how to tell the team, yo, we're building something here. So even if this doesn't come right away, don't feel too bad. You see me? Because some coaches don't know how to interact on a personal level. You see me?
I guarantee you this. Give Pep Guardiola, Scott McTominay, Fred and Dan James, and he wouldn't know what to do with them.
Nope.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. It wouldn't. It wouldn't. The thing with United again, United need a 6. They need a 6 because people don't like the dynamic between Fred and McTominay because they're just grit. They're just pure grit and energy.
It's too passive. It doesn't offer any attacking outlet. It's good defensively. But it can't transition.
How many bad games have you had with Fred and McTominay?
That's a fair point. At the same time, how many games have we not been able to take control of because of Fred and McTominay?
Okay,
it's not a matter of not playing badly. It's more a case of we need to be playing better. Because playing as we are now, while it's not bad, it's not winning us the league.
That's true. Man, that's how we are.
Okay, so all right. You talk about last season. For this season now, Bruno Fernandes will drop deep and collect the ball from Fred and McTominay. And Bruno Fernandes will get the ball into Jadon Sancho and Martial and whoever else will have up top. Now, Jadon Sancho is a maverick and he will make things happen. And Bruno Fernandes is a false 9, is a 8, is a 6, is everything that you need him to be.
Not to mention, Rashford always finds a way to score.
And Rashford always finds a way to score. So I see no reason why United won't win the league. And United's defense, yes. Manchester United defensively, very solid, except for individual errors, i.e. Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire's sometimes clumsiness.
To be fair,
you guys have a world-class keeper in there and a possibly above average center defensive partnership.
You make good points.
Back in the country right now.
But there are two things United need for me to say that we're going to win the league. One of them is to sort out the goalkeeping situation. Pick whichever one between De Gea and Henderson you're going to start and stick with it. Even if the pundits and whatever and the fans blast you for it, because whichever one you do, you're going to get blasted for it. Just pick one and stick with it. I want it to be De Gea, but if it's not, it doesn't matter. Just pick one and stick with it. Both of them are good goalkeepers, and I think they're both good enough to carry us through the league. One might be better than the other, though.
How much does that really affect the dynamic, though? Isn't it? From a goalkeeping standpoint, how much does that affect the team dynamic?
I mean, if you're swapping goalkeepers every game, you don't get to build that consistency and that confidence.
How much does that change?
It's not even that. I think De Gea will win you games and Dean Henderson won't.
And secondly, we need a CDM. A CDM that can transition the ball from defense into attack. Until then, I can't see United as clear and cutaway title challengers.
If we go on now?
Yeah.
As me says, as it pertains to the top 4, again this year my top 4 go be based on how the transfers them finish. City are push for another $150 or 50 million bid for Kane.
For Kane, yeah.
Let's be realistic. City have a team right now where they can win the league without a striker. Give them a proven Premier League striker that can go out and get 20 plus goals by the end of the season. Then them look like champions before the season even start. So getting Harry Kane may put City at first.
But I mean, them don't. I mean, like as much as we make jokes about it, them don't really have like goal scoring issues. You see me? They might have like these games where them.
They don't have goal scoring issues because let's be realistic. Then wingers can go out and get a handful of goals anytime they need.
Exactly.
But they need a dependable striker where they know game in, game out, go get them goals and then have to depend on the wings. Because at the end of the day, you have some teams with proper fullbacks that can lock down wingers. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or get a proper centre forward, a proper goal scoring striker that at the same time can make plays for the wingers, similar to how Firmino do for Mane and Salah. And then every team will play City go have problems because if you try lock down your wingers, then Kane go score. If you try lock down Kane, then Kane open up space in Mahrez, Bruno, Sterling, anybody.
Yeah, and a best case scenario, yeah. But the same
scenario. Right, that's what I say. Looking at it like that, we would have put City at first. Right?
First. Wow. So even over Chelsea who just get Lukaku. Yeah.
That's the thing now. In second, with the acquisition of Lukaku, if City still gets Kane, may I put them over Chelsea. But if they don't get Kane, then Chelsea are going to come first. right?
So what's the difference there? All right, let's put things into a little bit of perspective here. All right, Timo Werner on his day is probably as potent as Sterling and Mars. You see me? And Kai Havertz, dog. We'd even have to talk about Kai Havertz. We all know Kai Havertz quality, you see me? So
Yeah.
to replicate what City's forwards can do on their day, there, of course, dog. You see me?
Chelsea can do it, you know. Chelsea can more than do it. But look, the reason why I put it, there, even with Lukaku, there are some things that City still has over Chelsea, right?
Like,
If City were to play their backup team with Hurricane, them still have a chance at winning the league. If Chelsea were to face injuries as it pertains to certain players, for example, if they were to have a key injury in every part of the field, defense, midfield, and forward, then me I be very honest, the backup players that they have for those certain positions, Chelsea would have started to struggle.
yeah,
Yes,
I mean, we saw it last season. We saw it last season, to be fair, because like we had a lot of upper end injuries. You see me? But
if we not
nowadays, I don't think like if we have Lukaku now, because the thing is about what Tuchel has done is like he's made positions where it's kind of ambiguous to whoever we want to use. So if we want to use, like, for example, Christian, Mount, Kai, Timo in relatively the same positions, we can, isn't it? And even Romelu Lukaku will drop into as a position up there, and even Callum Hudson-Odoi too, isn't it? So it's not just like, well, under Frank, like certain people were being devalued by the kind of wingers that we were using and them kind of thing there, isn't it? So I don't feel like as a forward, as a midfield problem, sure, because we only have like really three midfielders at the moment.
get that, you know, but alright, look at it this way. Being realistic, Chelsea will have no problems this season as it pertains to offensive prowess. Even
Yeah,
with a few injuries, because Medse last season under Thomas Tuchel, Chelsea did have, I think, first place as it pertains to number of
chance
shots,
creation.
as it pertains to shots on target, first place as it pertains to shot creation, and they still had a few injuries. Zine, so me know for a fact that Chelsea won't have any problems as it pertains to offensive prowess.
I mean that's also something that I mentioned earlier that was kind of neither here nor there, because again, a lot of these things went through like because people used to give Timo Werner sack for it because like a lot of these things went through Timo, but when you think about it, Timo actually made a lot of those chances himself with his off-ball running.
True.
Romelu Lukaku is kind of similar, but not relatively like that because he doesn't run off the ball, you see me? So what happens now if Romelu Lukaku doesn't create as much chances as Timo Werner used to?
The thing that happens now is him not go create as much chances as Timo, but him go pounce and finish more chances that Timo missed out on, if you get what I mean.
On our best case scenario.
On a best case scenario. Right? If we're looking at things on a best case scenario realistically, Lukaku go score the goals that Werner were missing. And if Werner was scoring the goals that Werner was missing last season, then arguably you could say
That's
Chelsea would have.
quite that's a quite good point actually.
That's why I may say them Chelsea now go have no problem as it pertains to offensive prowess this year. Moving on to defensive side now, you have wingers and fullbacks who are great in defense, great in offense. But you really and truly have one or two partnerships. And those two partnerships, as it pertains to centre back partnerships, depend on one player, and that is Rudiger. I am being very honest right now. If Rudiger goes injured in this season, then the defense go be a shadow of its former self.
That's probably a very good point. Because we don't really have a stopper like that. We don't really have somebody. We really just have a lot of covering centre halves, to be very honest. Like people who don't really know what to do when think they're stepping out of the defensive line to try and stop people, isn't it?
Because
And
let me
also on the ball as well.
look on this. Say Rudiger get injured, right? There is not any really set player where go step in and take over for him. Because the partnerships I see at Chelsea right now as it pertains to centre backs are
Yeah.
Rudiger, Thiago, and maybe Rudiger and Christensen.
Hmm.
maybe.
Maybe.
And that's not
Because
good.
Thiago, not particularly on a defensive standpoint, but Thiago and Chris really play similar for what thing they wants to do with them, isn't it?
Right? And those are the partnerships. And again, the full-fledged partnerships that Chelsea have in the centre-back pairing, whether it is 3 at the back or 2 at the back, Rudiger has to be a part of it. And no,
That's true.
Rudiger, you go off and put in a player like Kurt Zuma, which is not good on the ball.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I don't think Kurt Zuma is quite like Rudiger either. I feel like he's a lot better of a recovery tackler rather than somebody who steps out on the line.
And that is also true. Right? You're going to need somebody to do that, but who you're going to put him in place of? Because, say, you still have Christensen, you still have Thiago Silva. Right? This new youth was scored today. I don't know why name, but he seemed like he can be very prominent. Right? They have all those players. You still need a proper forward pushing, ball playing centre back that is more than confident on the ball. And right now, that best centre back for you is Rudiger. And Rudiger needed in any defensive pairing we have, whether it's 3 at the back, 2 at the back, whatever defensive combination Chelsea has, Rudiger is going to be the centre of it. And if Rudiger were to get injured, the defense go fall short a lot. Third and fourth, I would have said lock between Liverpool and Man U, but more if it get third to Man U. Because Liverpool hasn't really done anything to the team. All they have really done is gain depth in the defense with Cawna. That's really it. Right? If Liverpool can put up a performance like the 2018-19 season, because we still do have most of those players, then Liverpool could shoot for third. Maybe even second, but highly unlikely this season. Right? But looking at it realistically, Mane is far from what he used to be. Mane has been shit for seasons now. Right?
Oh,
Right? Firmino, for Firmino to play good, he needs his wingers to be top notch, firing on all cylinders. Right? You can depend on Salah to do that, but Mane is far too inconsistent. Firmino is not scoring goals. At the winger, them are scoring goals. Whether Jota play with Salah or Mane play with Salah, or if Klopp then head for kick him and him put on Origi, Firmino plays off of them. And after times, if Firmino does get a goal, it is based off a 1-2 play off of said wingers. Right? So Firmino for being full potential needs a winger them to be at their full potential.
So where do you think there's Jota going to play?
I would honestly want Jota to play more as a left winger, but knowing Klopp, in go the alternating between left wing and centre forward to give Mane and Firmino rest here and there. But you probably go see him more as a centre forward.
Is that his best position though?
His best position to me a left winger. But what I see Klopp doing with that, because Liverpool plays a 4-3-3. Whether it's a 4-3-2-1 or a 4-3-1-2, it depends on the player that he plays. Right? Because normally it's a 4-3-1-2 with Firmino kind of playing a cam role.
Yeah.
But if he
and
plays,
then the wide forwards as relative centre forwards,
if he plays, exactly. And if he plays Jota now, you go see the wingers go spread more wide, and Jota would be a forward centre forward. Right? And depending on the team can do very well. But again, it go depend on what the wingers do. Because if the defense not see much threat from Mane and Salah, then they go cave down on Jota. And Jota now go get no movement. No space for do nothing.
As we saw in the Euros, but we digress, isn't it?
Right? So Liverpool's season realistically depends on the performance of the wingers.
But at the same time, what really motivates Liverpool now?
I think the players them go they play with some sort of we need something to prove mentality. We are gonna prove ourselves mentality. Because don't get me wrong, as a Liverpool fan, it might sound biased when I say it, but Liverpool has
It
a
does.
solid
I
team,
guess what you said the same thing last year, and look how that turned out.
right? Exactly. Liverpool has a solid team, right? But we all know that Liverpool's team thrives off of chemistry and moral,
Yeah.
right? One injury in the season to one key player can finish off Liverpool's season overall. One
Yeah.
string of bad games for a key player can throw off the season overall. Look
Yeah.
what happened. Van Dijk get injured and the season gone completely to that.
Speaking of which,
But
is Van Dijk going to be? I'm not going to interrupt you too much, but like, is Van Dijk going to have the same season? Do you think? Simple yes or no?
honestly, I don't think he will in the beginning of the season. But leading into the end of the season, if he get to build a proper partnership with Kanute or regain in chemistry with Gomez, then he can. But playing Van right off of the bat every game in the beginning of the season won't do it. That's why I'm glad so we go out and get a defender. Because I know for a fact that Van Dijk won't be 2018-19 Van Dijk right off the bat. No player is how they used to be right off of a major injury. It's never happened.
Yeah.
But ease them into it, not playing them every game, giving them a game here and there. You know, both big games and little games here and there. Then we get back then groove. It will seem like say they never injured before. But playing Van Dijk game in, game out, right off the bat, me not think he go reach back in form myself. I have to take into consideration this man is soon 13 and I like him at 25, 26.
Exactly.
So, me
So
not think
him losing in pay because a big thing about Van Dijk, you know, although he's the Rolls Royce, isn't it? There's literally nothing wrong about Van Dijk as a centre back. He's a perfect centre back, but he used to use like him pace so much, isn't it? Especially, and that used because again, you know my thoughts on Joe Gomez. I think he's a championship defender being carried by Van Dijk, isn't it? So what happens now if something happens and him can't just carry man like Joe Gomez? What happens if Kanate, who I don't think will even hit the ground running, much less have a good season, is going to not
that
be able to carry by Van Dijk, isn't it?
that's the next thing I make me feel like say the performance of Liverpool season really and truly hung. It hang pa how would I call it? Too much.
Van Dijk can carry you.
If this happen, then that will happen. If that happen, then that will happen. That is what Liverpool
The
season
domino effect.
right? A domino effect. So basically, how Liverpool season set: if the wingers play good, then the offense alright. If the defenders hit the ground running, then the offense alright. If Liverpool gets one injury, one season done.
That could be pushing it still, but I get what you're saying. All right.
As me say again, Liverpool is the type of team who play for moral and chemistry. If Liverpool gets one injury to a key player, then the moral go drop. That go bring the chemistry with it. Especially if I want player will touch the ball a lot. Right?
Yeah, anyway, move on to United. Then.
So that's essentially how it stay for Liverpool. That's why I say it's a fringe thing, third or fourth.
Yeah.
And Man U now have a way better chance of getting the third, and even a better chance of getting the second if one of the two top teams check up themselves. Is because Man U has gone out and made a very okay team even better. Them solve them winger problem then I got for play Martial out of position even though he did already shit and get a world class winger in my opinion because Jadon
Bro,
Sancho.
listen, Uno can hit, not even hit. Uno can bash Marshall all you want. He's a 20 goal a season striker. You see me?
He's a 20 goal a season striker if he might play good and he hasn't been playing good and I've been saying.
Yeah, no problem. I'll stay with that.
Right. I say it for like 2 or 3 seasons right now. If Manchester United have sense, goes out and get a proper central defensive midfielder, like a Declan Rice or something,
Yeah.
then could have win a title by now. And the transfer season still open. Me see them a go for another winger for some weird reason. But if they could go out and get a CDM right now, a proper CDM, because them can probably get Declan for less than 100 mil right now. If they go out and get a proper CDM,
Nah, their asking price is 100 mil, and it would have kind of too late in the transfer window for let's try spark up some, isn't it? So
but if they can get a proper CDM, like all Draghi in NDD, which is a very good CDM, then that third place is guaranteed for Manu, and the second place is a very good shout.
all
If
right,
they get a CDM.
that's
But
interesting.
based
But at the
on
same time, I posed this question earlier. I personally feel Man United have the best starting 11 in the league as it stands. So why is it that okay if they get the one place? Because at the moment there's every other side really has like two or so places that really need to be fixed. So
no, Man U not the best starting 11.
I don't understand why you feel that way.
I think Chelsea have the best starting 11.
I don't think so. Again, it's a system carrying a lot of quite average players, to be very honest, especially with no midfield depth. We still need we need a defensive midfielder, we need a central midfielder who can change the game from the middle. Because we still have that issue. We still have we don't really have any one world class centre back. You see me? So because that's even with the Rudiger thing now. A big reason why we rely on Rudiger is because he fits the system so well. We don't have anybody who can stand out by themselves. You see me?
Right, look at it this way. I mean, which would you pick?
Our face value.
No, we know. We're not talking about Man U and Chelsea, right? We're like your two hypothetical teams. I say, which one would you pick as it pertains to a starting 11 being better? A big named, lopsided team, or a cohesive, mid-tier to lower world-class team as it pertains to starting 11? A team that we have big name, but we have shaky performances because just that he have big names. And he have huge gaps in its starting 11. Or a starting 11 with little to no gaps, strong cohesiveness, and complete fluidity.
That's a very double-sided question, to be very honest. You see me? At one point, I can say, okay, taking the blindfolds from off it, Man United is not really a thing there inconsistent side as that stands, you see me? And it's not as lopsided either, you see me? Because again, I can go back to Chelsea and say we have certain problems A, B, C, and Man United have certain problems A, B, C. We actually have quite overlapping problems because we have the same issue of not being able to break down low blocks as well as we'd like. You see me? But at the same time now, I can say that Mavericks, here's the difference. Here's the difference. Mavericks now, in terms of the world class players, can change the game. You see me? If you're just a cohesive unit, and again they're not that bad at thing they're cohesive unit in Manchester United. If a cohesive unit thing there has like something that they can't overcome, then that's just it. You see me? You get what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
I
get
would
where
so giving me Man U without the label of Man United and giving me Chelsea without the label of Chelsea, I'd still choose United because they're the best starting 11 in the league.
here's why I would still pick Chelsea. I mean, as it pertains to there are a lot of different playing styles in the Premier League, right? A lot of different playing styles. Some playing styles are literally built to defeat certain teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of the two starting 11, the hardest team to crack is Chelsea,
Yeah,
right? And that's just looking at it
that's on face value because we base these things based off
face value.
we base these things off things that we saw last season. McFred, Lindelof, ex Maguire, you see me? Who every United fan hate Lindelof, you see me? So now that Lindelof is gone with Varane, now you have to say Raw. You got me.
And me can argue against that because being as I've seen what Varane has done,
I know, I know.
and
We're
that
going.
when I say high levels of mistake he makes. Note, Varane, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Varane is an average defender that highly depends on his centre back partner.
No. But here's the thing as well. Harry Maguire is a perfect foil to Varane. You see me? Harry Maguire. I'm not going to say in the role of a Sergio Ramos, but even so, Rafael Varane is pretty aggressive as a centre back himself. You get me? So I'm not going to say and the same ball playing abilities for Sergio Ramos get transposed onto Harry Maguire. You see me? So it's the perfect foil. So even with the deficiencies that you saw, like when Varane was paired with people like Eder Militao, they're not going to be with Man United. Come on.
That is true. But once you know that there is a in a centre back partnership, there, for example, look at it this way. With the centre back partnerships that Chelsea have, the players play well individually. It's not that they depend on another player for their defending to work. Right? You get what I say
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Looking at, I'll go out and put my hand, my head, all of my limb them on the line for say Varane more often than
Yeah.
not, but 10 pound Maguire. That is very easy to exploit.
Mm.
Once you know there is some trend, you know how to counter that trend. So if you know Varane going to depend on Maguire, what you can do as an offense is draw out one of the defenders, isolate the other, and make a play. Right there, so you have a gap. Right?
I
Because
mean, it's,
Maguire still go be team aggressive self and press for the ball. If you have a good ball retainer, a person who can take tackles and hold the ball and still find a pass like Firmino, then that can isolate Varane easily. Draw Maguire out, isolate Varane, and then a whole space would be left there. Once you know there is something that a defense does, like it's a regular thing, sometimes even involuntarily, then it is easy to exploit. If you have a centre back partnership with a centre back depending on a other centre back for their game to work well, it can be. And that's why I say as it pertains to looking at the defense alone, Chelsea is in a way better position than a lot of the league, maybe even City. Because sometimes Stones kind of depend on Dias.
sometimes, brother, Stones is not a good centre back, brother, in my opinion. Isn't well, he's a good centre back, but I feel like Diaz really carried him. Really carried him, dog. Isn't
So if looking at that, Chelsea is the only team with centre back partnerships with centre backs not depending on each other to fully defend.
Yeah.
At Man U, you have that. At City, you have that. And oftentimes, when you see goal scoring on these teams, that's how it's exploited. Look at Lindelof, for example. Maguire isn't enough to cover for Lindelof's mistakes, so that gets exploited. Maybe he might be enough to cover for Varane's mistakes, but in covering for Varane's mistakes, he might fall short somewhere else, or might not realize something somewhere else. He might depend too much, he might exert too much in covering for Varane. Him forget other roles where he have. Because we all know Rafael Varane is not an easy defender to cover for. He
Yeah.
makes up mistakes. He gets caught out of position a lot. So you have to be on your game to cover him. And in cover for him, even with Ramos, a lot of things where he miss out on. And that's why, unironically, that season Real Madrid conceded way more goals than they should. So that's why I say, as if even though they did get Varane, and Varane easily is a better defender than Lindelof, there is still a lot of gaps that teams can work through.
That's totally understandable. Let's move on to Sunil's list now of why he has Arsenal this.
All
I
right. All right. All right. So Let me just say, um, I'm not the hugest fan of Mikel Arteta as a manager. You see me?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I feel like he gets a lot of unwarranted criticism because people don't understand Mikel Arteta as a manager. You see me? People feel like he's a complete idiot, but that's not the issue. The issue is he does things that really don't need to be done. You see me? But at the same time, I can't completely wrong him because he doesn't have all the tools at his disposal, right? And before I go off, this is more a case of I have certain things happening throughout the season rather than, oh, I believe straight up that Arsenal can finish fourth. I feel like they're going to have a sense of progression because I think that Arsenal, regardless of the result today, are a pretty good defensive system. And they also have an idea of how they want to progress as a club, playing the way that they need to play. They have a good idea of how they want their fullbacks to run, how they want their wingers to interact with the game, what they need, what they don't need. You see me? Do I agree with Mikel Arteta's tactics as of the moment? Not particularly, because I don't think it's a great use of their squad. But at the same time, I think to myself, this is a squad in transition with a lot of players that scream transitional squad. You see me? Because I don't think there's any particular dynamic that anyone this all right, let's say Barca had bare people that knew how to pass the ball, that knew how to get into certain situations and how to get out of certain situations, right? What screams of that? Yeah, and you know that Mikel Arteta is someone who likes to play the ball on the front foot and thing there and work his way into the box. Which particular Arsenal players right now scream that?
Maybe Smith Rowe, he got resolved.
Smith Rowe is a very it's Smith Rowe is an interesting choice because Smith Rowe, I don't think he's a very good ball attacking midfielder. I feel like he's a good
Yeah,
final
but
ball. I feel like he's
here's
a good final ball attacking midfielder and a good person in energy situations. Kind of like Willock, you see me?
yeah,
I feel
but
like
without the tools, how can you set the getting Champions League?
oh, again, it's more a situation of I have different things happening to other teams where Arsenal is just going to be more consistent. You see me? Because here's
More.
the thing.
Who's the rest of the top three of the top
Huh?
four? Just for clarity, who's the rest of the top four?
Chelsea, United, City,
So you think that certain things are going to happen to Liverpool, Leicester,
Liverpool, Tottenham,
Tottenham, and
Leicester.
even Aston Villa
Yeah.
to
West
allow
Ham,
Arsenal?
I'll
So you
get.
Leeds,
depend. So
Villa.
you're
Wait,
depending
wait.
on.
Before I get to that, will you give me time to get to all of those specifically?
Okay.
We're going to cover the rest of Europe. So
Okay. All right. I'll get to those then. Yes. All right. So on the note of Arsenal now, again, they have good thing their structures to build upon. At least they know what they need to do in possession. You see me? Not everybody is talented enough to do that. You see me? But there's
Xhaka.
good things. No. I actually quite like Xhaka as a player, but I don't know what Xhaka is
That's
specifically.
Sunil. I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Would it make sense for Arteta to play a system where he's able to utilize the players fully instead of trying to get the players to use a system where they can play until he gets the tools that he needs?
Yes, but that gets all right. Here's the thing: short term, that's great, but that gets Arsenal nowhere because that's just painting over cracks. You see me? The
Well,
whole
it's
point
better
of
than
this,
Noren now, to be honest.
yeah, no. You're not because guess what? At the start of the season, they have a terrible run, but they kind of relatively fixed that. You see me? But here's my problem now: if they're not allowed to progress as a club with a certain standpoint, if they just continue chopping, changing managers, that's just gonna have the same players of the same quality
That's
doing
true.
different
That's
things. Or
true.
you see me?
That's true.
There's no
Okay.
progression as a club without any ideology of how to progress. You see me? So my issue with Arteta isn't, oh, I believe he's some wonderful manager. I think they should just stick with him, back him, and then make whatever decisions based off his decisions. And if you get tired of him, look how many managers are like Arteta. Look at Graham Potter. Look how many players he
Graham
covets from.
Potter.
Look, no, yeah, think about it. Look how much players he covets from Graham Potter.
Graham Potter is good.
What?
Hmm.
Graham Potter is actually underrated.
In my opinion, In
They
my
can get
opinion,
Graham Potter, they can get Eric Ten Hag, they can get all of these managers. They can get thing there, what's his name from Atalanta, Gasperini from Atalanta.
Gasperini.
Isn't it? They can get all of these managers. What's his name from Sassuolo? They just need they De Serbi or something like that. They
in my
just need.
opinion, Arsenal's problem. If I were in charge of Arsenal, or if I was in any way affiliated with Arsenal's decision making, I would just get rid of the board. Like, get new owners.
I don't think the board is
as
an
fast
issue
as possible.
anymore, to be very honest. Because
The
even
board is
Why
an
not?
issue.
Why
Ivan
not?
Gazidis went to Milan. They're trying to freshen up their system as much as possible. They even got a defensive coach out there here. You see me?
Yeah,
They're trying to do
Lampard.
things big. Yeah, they're trying. I feel like the Arsenal fan base really do try to
They
paint a
need.
picture.
They
Paint
need
a
to get
picture.
Cranky out.
The one thing,
They need to get
I don't
Cranky out.
have that. I don't have that sentiment. Did you know that? Like for they quite back Arsenal almost every year. But here's the thing:
they
people
do,
just
the
have
bad
they
managers. They
back.
really do bad managers.
Is that really true though?
They
Like,
do,
they're
Scott.
big.
They
Here's the
do.
thing: when last have they really not given their manager what they want? Think
When
about
I
it.
s- you
The
say
only
what they
last year,
want.
the only target that they didn't get was Awar, right? But from that, they got Partey, they got thing there, Pablo Mari, who he also said he wanted. I don't know why, but they got Gabriel.
Arteta said he wanted Pablo Mari.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
So Arteta said last season he wanted an aging Willian and
Yeah.
Pablo Mari.
Yep,
Yeah.
he wanted William. Desperately.
And he not only that, but he said he got backed in the summer. You see me? He said that
And
he's the what?
And this summer, he said that he wanted Ben White, which albeit is a good signing.
Yes.
And
You think that they're
which I
going to
still
go
haven't
out
gotten
there
yet.
and push a £50 million thing there, signing
Listen.
that they don't want?
I don't. That there are a lot of things wrong at Arsenal. I think. Firstly, if they want to make Champions League this season, which is never going to happen, they need Aubameyang to win the Golden Boot. That's the only way it's going to happen because their
I
squad
don't
is
think so.
not good enough.
Well, I mean, I
I'm sorry, their squad is not good enough.
I wouldn't say that. I feel like even when you look at it, because this is one of the criticisms that I have of Mikel Arteta in comparison to other managers. He doesn't really know how to get the best out of his squad. Because
He hasn't been a manager. This is his first job.
No, but even look at Lampard. Lampard got a lot of out of all the players that he was given when he had the transfer embargo. He got good out of Jorginho for a minute. He got good out of Marcus Alonso against Tottenham.
Yeah, but Lampard had at least a little experience.
No,
he had some experience at Derby.
That's a year at Derby. Who cares? Isn't it? There's no real
for you experience to say that experience.
For you to say that you can genuinely not look at Luca Torreira, who had a very good season the season before, to the point where people were saying, "Oh, right, he might be the best defensive midfielder in the league."
Kick him out.
And Arteta kicked him out at Atletico de Madrid.
And Guendouzi as well. Guendouzi was actually good.
Exactly.
Good. He had issues, but he was
Dani
good.
Ceballos. Do you know how good Dani Ceballos was? My favorite player from Spain's under-21s, brother. When we back when we were thing there. Wonder. What was it? Was it the World Cup or was it the Euros? He was my favorite player. And then he gone to Arsenal and do nothing for him. They made him the worst player. I feel like he has blood on his hands, but guess what? You can't cry about the past anymore. You can only look to progression. And I feel like if they stick with Arteta, that's the only way that they're going to get progression as a club.
I think they need to stick with a manager, but I don't think it's going to be Arteta.
It doesn't matter if it's Arteta or not. It just has to be somebody in the same mode as Arteta. You see me? So that they can genuinely have a platform to grow on. You see me? Yeah,
let me see if I can find Arsenal's fixtures like for the next couple of games, because they have City, they have Chelsea, they have Spurs, they have Burnley.
Last time we did this, what happened again?
But that was West Ham. That was West Ham.
They had a poor run.
But when they jumped right back, didn't they?
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't. While Moyes survived that with West Ham, I don't think Arteta survived in this. That is October. That's 7 games into the season, and I don't see them getting more than 3 points.
Arsenal have
But
Chelsea,
Arteta does well
City,
against big sides anyway, so
Norwich, Burnley, Tottenham, Brighton, with Crystal Palace. Wow.
I can only confidently say that they beat Norwich, and that's
no,
because
that's
I am
Wow.
the
anyway.
bottom of the league.
They always do well against big sides. This is like so sharing a dog. They always do well against these big sides because them just sit back and allow whatever them want. Isn't me? So anyway, you guys get my opinions on Arteta. Let me just move on to the Chelsea, the Man City, the Man United, right? So Chelsea next. Again, this is more of like what Terence said. This is more. I don't know how well Romelu Lukaku. I was the biggest fan of the Romelu Lukaku deal. At the same time, I don't know how many chances he's going to be able to get and or generate for himself. You see me? So while people are saying, "Yo, Romelu Lukaku, golden boot. Look how much chances Timo Werner did miss last year and this and that." You see me? I don't think he's going to be as bad as Terence thinks that he can be, but I just don't think that he's going to be anything world breaking either. You see me? I feel like he's just going to be like a standard, at least 20 goals. You see me? And I don't think that's enough to win us the league because as Terence said, we just really haven't addressed certain things that are already an issue for us. Anyway, moving on.
Wait, so
Well,
who's winning the league for you?
Manchester United.
Oh, wow.
All of your faith in Manchester United is going to bite you in the ass.
And
I
I'll
promise
take
you.
it. And I'll take it because I've been right a lot of times. I've been wrong a lot of times. Isn't it?
I hope you're right. I genuinely hope you're right, but I don't see it happening.
Wait, as it pertains to City, I don't even know, to be very honest. I just feel like this is going to be the year that Pep just can't motivate them anymore. Isn't it? Again, we've been here before where we say City isn't exactly a motivated based team. They're just more a talented team, isn't it? But here's the thing: whereas Pep always think their values performance at the highest level, isn't it? Where if you're in the cup, you play well in the cup. If he's in the Champions League, I just don't think they care anymore, isn't it? And it kind of showed in preseason where people were
Yeah,
just making
I think the
It
mistakes.
showed,
morale
it
was
showed in the
destroyed.
final. It showed in the final.
I think them it's a tired club. Sometimes even you can be the best manager in the world. Sometimes your club just needs a change. It's as simple as that. You get me?
Yeah,
Fair enough. So,
And that's the same thing. Well, I'll get to Liverpool later, but it's the same thing. You get me?
so that's the top four. Let's move away from the big boys for a second. Let's look at
relegation.
relegation.
Who's
So
gonna
no,
go
go
first?
first. So no, go
Right.
first.
So
Oh,
then,
I don't remember. Oh yeah, Norwich. Norwich is a side that went down with a lot of characteristics and came back up with a lot of the same characteristics. While I think Daniel Farke will do better this time around because that was his first level of Premier League football and he knows a little bit more about the league this time around. I don't think he has the tools that he had at the same time. Emi Buendia was one of their brightest sparks, and they replaced him with Milot Rashica, who what was his stats for last year again? 3 goals, 2 assists. Bro, Rashica did not have his best season last year. You see me?
They signed this wonder kid, this 18-year
Ross
old.
Sargent,
Yes,
yeah.
who also didn't have a good season last
What do
season.
you mean? He got like 15 goal involvements at
What?
18.
You sure?
Pretty sure. They
I
said
don't know.
he's an
Here one place.
absolute baller, but I don't think he's going to save them. But he's a
I
baller.
also did hear somewhere that him did have like a season to forget at Werder Bremen or something along those lines.
Possibly.
Which is weird because I thought throughout the season that he was doing well, but I wasn't paying attention. Again, this wasn't my Bundesliga year, isn't it? What else? Them come back with Timu Puki,
You
isn't
don't
it?
have faith in Pookie?
Huh?
The
Don't you
pokey
have faith?
party is over. The pokey party is over. It was fun while it lasted. I got out the FPL points from it, but it's not happening again. Pokey is not good enough for the Premier League.
Yeah, I don't think Lightning is going to be able to strike twice. At least not even for the start of the season, and then him just going water down. Then probably just going to replace him with Sargent halfway through. Isn't me? And just say, "Rah, yeah, get me." And probably just win a couple matches, but it's not going to be enough. Isn't me?
All right, who else?
Huh?
Plus relegation.
Yeah. I don't know. Isn't it? Them basically stink of the same side that got relegated last 2 years ago. So that's fine for Norwich. The second team, I don't really know my second team. Isn't it? Because I have it. Could be Crystal Palace. Could be Brighton. Could be. Well, I don't really think Brighton is gonna go down because every year people say Brighton are going to go down and nothing really happens. I don't really know which one to choose, to be very honest. I say
Ah,
Crystal Palace because I don't think Crystal Palace, because of releases, I don't think they have strength in depth. And I hear that think their Patrick Vieira is the kind of manager who doesn't really settle on one system and likes to use people based off the places where he thinks fit. So I don't think that's a very, very good match made in heaven. You got me.
mm. And who they
Oh,
have lost?
Also, he has a pretty hard start to the season, and well, I, I don't think Michael Ali says no. Is think their Eberechi Eze is out. I think
yeah, it's
isn't.
out for a couple months, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
because
not good.
yeah. And also before I finish, there could be good points to the season. There's thing there. I feel like Anderson ex Gay, he's going to be one of the best centre backs partnerships in the league.
Yeah, that was a steal signing.
I don't think it was a steal signing because it was still very expensive, but like they're still a very good centre halves, isn't it?
All right, and last.
And last, I have Leeds United getting relegated.
That's bold. That's bold of you.
It's bold, but
Shocker.
there's so many reasons why I think that this is going to happen.
Ultimately, I remember hearing the reasons. Yeah, I can share them now.
I can share them now. All right. So first of all, I remember like I coming up with this thesis that thing there that murder ball. It's surprising that Patrick Bamford just doesn't have a lot of injuries when it comes to like murder ball. You see me? Because you think, look on him stature, you'd think to yourself that this is some kind of posh child. You see me? With bones made of glass or whatever, brother. You see me? And yeah, him can like press for like 90 minutes straight and not have like any issues, no nothing. You see me? Quite lean, kind of, and the physicality of the Premier League. But last time I thought about this, I was like, yo, Liverpool are gonna do well, and they did not do well. You see me? Because burnout and them things there. You see me? So this stems from, I think that Leeds United are going to drop off massively from the season before, but the reason why that they're gonna get finished is because of Patrick Bamford, because they don't even have a good enough replacement for Patrick Bamford.
You really hate Patrick.
No, it's not, and because I'm saying the issue is not Patrick Bamford, because I think Patrick Bamford is good in the Premier League. You see me? I think if they lose Patrick Bamford, which I think is going to happen, that they're just not going to be able to do anything with him. You see me? Because there's no way for Leeds United to keep up this pressure. You see me? For 2 years, they've been trying to get into the Premier League, playing the same high tempo, high morale
But
football,
I
killing
would
them.
like I would like
Yeah.
to add, unlike Klopp Liverpool, Bielsa actually rotates heavily.
Who?
Unlike Liverpool, Bielsa actually rotates his
Yeah,
side heavily.
he rotates a lot more, but
Oh yeah, I know. You see me?
even so, I think the reliance on Bamford for goals
Because there's
might gives his theory like some plausibility, but
yeah,
I just think Leeds quality. Even if they end
I
up in
don't
a
think that.
relegation dogfight, I think they're gonna pull out of it.
I feel like the people, I don't, because when look at people like on the internet who said, "Oh, raw, these is a championship side," I don't think they're wrong. You see me? I just feel like they're a really, really well coached side, but I don't think that they're wrong when they say like, "All right, look, they don't know how to improvise." Look at when the tactical plan goes out the window. They can see so much. Think about it. You see me?
That's true.
They can see. Yeah, 'cause I don't think they're a really good Premier League side. I feel like they're championship ballers with very good coaching. You see me? So when you look at people like Bamford and say, what happens to Leeds United? Who did they look for to goals? Rafinha's what? I think he had 7 goals from last season.
Something like that.
Rodrigo's old, and not only is he old, he's only ever had a season one. They tried to get into the Premier League for 2 seasons, right? They failed once because of Father Frank. They failed once, then they got back. You see me? And then they made their points in the Premier League. Where do they go from now? Because they went into this weird place where they're not where Sheffield United were They don't have Europe like Wolves did. They're not anywhere close to relegation, nor are anybody tipping them to even be close to relegation. Where do they try to settle as a football club? Where do their standards lie? You see me? So with this not knowing where your standards lie, there's nothing to aim for. You see me? So if you just let that complacency go ahead with all the things I've said already, these are just going to drop. You see me? And then with the murder ball now comes with like the injuries and all the knocks and all the tiredness and all the I don't know where I'm going to go from there. You see me? So with all of these issues and with people just overrating Marcelo Bielsa and saying, "Oh, Marcelo Bielsa is not gonna succumb to second season syndrome because he's Marcelo Bielsa," that just it's karma, dog. You see me? It's there's so much writing on the wall for me to say raw. Yeah, these are definitely going to go down this season for me.
All right. All right. So Terrence, relegation.
I have Norwich last, Brighton 19th, and Burnley 18th. Of Norwich
Brighton
last
and
because
Burnley.
Norwich is just yo-yo club. Not much else there to say. Well, all right, Mr. About Norwich, they're gonna play good football because they have a good midfield. Not so sure about their defense. They have a good midfield. They have Billy Gilmore and Pierre Limelu, and they have Todd Cantwell. That's a very good midfield.
But they did lose their best midfielder from last year. I mean, Oliver Skip from Tottenham.
Yeah, they did.
But still, the midfielder that I just named, Pierre Limelu, OGC needs midfield of what, 4 years? Regular in our side. Very good DM, CM. Billy Gilmore, we know his quality already. And Todd Cantwell, we know his quality already. They will play good, but I don't think everyone else around them will get more points than them because they know how to close out games. Brighton, similar situation to Norwich. They will play good, but Brighton just cannot score goals. And I have not seen them get a goal scorer of any note. They still have Danny Welbeck, Aaron Connolly, and what the French Daniel? And Maupay. Brighton just will not score. The only spark Brighton
That's
have, I
fair.
think, is Leandro Trossard. And if Trossard isn't doing anything, then Brighton just aren't doing anything. And then Burnley. I personally have a vendetta against Burnley. I don't like
Legend
how
just
they
got
play
to
football.
agenda.
Brother, I don't understand. Because Burnley is our points bag every year, bro. What you mean by you don't like Burnley?
Legend just got to
Burnley,
agenda.
I think Burnley's time has come in the league.
Brother,
I
every
don't
year
think they
we
will
say that.
score nearly enough goals as they need to.
I still keep the clean sheets.
Every year we say that. And if it's not Ash, and when we said that about Ashley Barnes, it's Chris Wood. And when we said that about Chris Wood, it's Ashley Barnes, brother. Every dog.
No, as a
But
team,
John,
I just don't think they will score. I seriously don't think Burnley will score as much this season.
they won't, but they'll
All
keep
right.
clean
And
sheets.
I just want to comment on your Leeds thing, bro. Leeds better than everybody around them. Leeds are better than every team around them. They're better than Wolves. They're better than Newcastle. They're better than Crystal Palace. They're better than Southampton. They're better than Watford, Brentford.
In what way? In what way
They are
specifically?
just better. I'm gonna tell you about
No,
Leeds.
no, 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 no. Give me the. I get that if you're saying in coaching, but like personnel, maybe only Southampton and Burnley.
In coaching and personal, the only thing Leeds downfall is their defense. They're very bad at defending. Full stop. They're just very bad at defending. But in terms of getting off their game plan, like 90% of the time, Leeds are going to play how they want to play, and no one will stop Leeds from playing how they want to play.
No, I get that. I get that, and that's a reason why I always say to myself, "Raw, thing there. Leeds are always going to follow one of two formats. They're gonna score and keep somebody out, or they're gonna concede out. You see me? But here's the thing as well. You see me? There's always going to be instances where you're looking towards something to happen for you. You get me? So, for example, like when you remember when Arsenal was thing they're down to 10 men, and them couldn't break them down for no reason, right? There's always going to be reasons, and they were peppering them. You see me? With good quality chances, but you can't even get that one goal to separate it. You see me? What happens when you miss that entire goal scorer who put away 50% of your chances? You see me?
All right, that's true. The Bamford thing, true, but that is still just chance. Still up to chance. Bamford is fit for
I mean,
most of
yeah,
the season. And they
what
can rely on Bamford to be fit again. They can rely on him, and they have Rafinha, and they got to keep Jack Harrison. I don't
Again,
see where Leeds will be anywhere near relegation battle at all.
Again, that's where it stands for me. It's a bold prediction based off Patrick Bamford getting injured. You see me? But at the same time, there's nothing that motivates Leeds to do any better. You see me? I don't genuinely think that they're a very good squad in of itself. I feel like they're a very, very well coached squad. I don't think they're better than Newcastle. I don't feel like they might be better than Southampton because Southampton's very bad. But when it pertains to them, I don't even think they're better than Crystal Palace, to be very honest. Isn't it?
Have you honest ever seen the Leeds play like bad? They've been exposed, but have they
it's
played bad?
It's not a case of they're ever going to play bad. It's a case of them ballers just not being competent enough to use a different game plan. Isn't it? Because even when
that's why I always say that's why we use the teams that will be around them, and they are better than the teams around them due to how they are coached. Same thing. When we realize with Leeds, due to how they are coached, they take it a game at a time, and they attack every game like fresh meat. So they will never get complacent.
That's great to say when you have a point to prove, but when you don't have like anything specific to aim for, where do you go? And it's not like they've added a lot to boost the morale or say we have this goal in mind. When like Wolves came in and they were think they're bringing in Beerman like Cawna and Ryan Aitnori or something. Wasn't Aitnori there? I don't remember. Isn't it? But they were bringing like 13 man Vitinha them Monday and saying, we're going to aim for this, even if they didn't reach it. They don't have like anything. They only brought in, what was its name? Junior Firpo, a backup Barcelona left back, as much as I rate him. Isn't it? There's nothing about Leeds that screams, I'm going to do better this season.
And what if you can use the same logic for Aston Villa?
What?
Use the same logic for Aston Villa.
What? Aston Villa have literally revamped their entire front line with ballers. What?
Yeah, on paper, but we have seen this Leeds team in the league.
I'm confused as where you go.
Alright, Aston Villa survived last 2 seasons ago by the skin of their teeth. Yeah. By total stupidness.
Yeah.
Now they have who? Ings, Buendia, and Bailey.
Yeah.
Good attack. Good team. Very good team. Very good team. Last season they still had a good team.
Yeah.
Aston Villa it's not far away for Aston Villa get sucked into relegation battle. Any more so than Leeds.
Oh no. That's why I don't have Aston Villa particularly high either. Because I have the same. I don't feel like people are going to understand that. I'll get into that later with the European predictions. But we're gonna continue.
All right, go on the silver.
I don't know. Okay. So for last place, I have Watford.
Makes sense.
For 19th place, I have Norwich. And for my controversial pick, I have Newcastle. And the reason why I picked Newcastle is number one, the owner wants him to get relegated. He wants to get relegated.
There's no way you predicted a team that's being led by Callum Wilson to get relegated again.
Brother Callum Wilson is
injury prone.
Listen, Callum Wilson will not score more than this season. And when he does get injured, are you going to put your vote in Johnny? Okay. The second reason is
an injured Callum Wilson gives them a better survival chance than Southampton without Danny Ings.
Listen, Southampton replaced Ings with a decent striker. Faith in the striker. But I do not have faith in Jonathan. Let's be real. Let's be real for a second. And also, there's already Discord in this squad. Wilson came with the other day and made some comments saying since they've got better attacking coach and playing better. And I know that Bruce isn't going to take that well. And Bruce is he's
Bro, language fam. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
But he's solid enough. He's solid enough to survive though.
No, it's not. Listen. It's
Newcastle finished like what? The same position every season, same amount of points. They do just enough to remain relevant.
And they barely
They aren't doing
spin.
spectacularly, but they're not doing enough to get relegated.
Well, we'll have to look at it last season. Last season as well, everybody was like bad, like really,
But
really
here's the thing, Mio, alright. Thing there. When we're doing Aston Villa, like thing there, Terrence said, the first season they were so bad. They should have, by right, they should have been relegated.
bad, right?
But
But
no, they were just as bad as Newcastle were, and they got saved. Isn't it? And then the next season after that, they were very, very, very good. Isn't it? So it's not. So it's
but
hard to just
question:
say.
have
Huh?
we seen Newcastle being good ever though?
Yeah. In Bruce's first season, Newcastle was a good side. They were very consistently not top half, but
They
high
consistently
mid-table.
don't lose games.
No, they were high. Think they're mid-table for the majority of the season, and that's where they ended. Isn't it? They were good.
I really just don't see that. I'm sorry. Will it be a
All
good
right.
what for what? Other than that, unless Bruce changes his system, I really don't see it. I'm sorry, guys. That's the other
Because
thing.
again, remember we had the same sentiments about Dean Smith. We all thought Dean Smith was a terrible manager until he became a good manager. Isn't it?
Well, I already did that detail about it. And I understand your point.
Relegation. I wanted to say Brentford, and I'm still going to say. I'm not gonna make them. I'm not gonna make them beating Arsenal change my mind. Arsenal are
Ah,
Brentford, I see getting relegated. I personally feel Watford is going to stay,
same.
but they will barely stay.
I think them comfortably going to stay still.
So relegation, me say Brentford, Norwich, and Palace.
Why Palace?
There has been no change to Palace team, and teams no teams in the
What do you
league.
mean? There's been so much change. What?
I don't see how there will be a big change.
Brother, I
And
mean, they changed their mentality. Their coach is a lot different from them.
right,
They lost, I think, 13 first team players. They recoup. They have a whole new defensive partnership. They have a new midfielder, in Michael Elise, who's going to be relatively their talisman, dog. Yeah, they've changed that quite a bit, dog. The only thing that don't change is Wolf Zaha still gonna carry the team.
the reason why I say there isn't going to be a lot of change. Another team will probably go face relegation because I know much change at Wolves. But the reason why I say there is not a lot of change, they have changed their mentality. They have changed the quality in players that they got. Right? But so has a lot of the league teams.
Teams.
So on the grand scheme of thing, yes, their team has gotten better. The rest of the league has gotten better to the point where they're still at that same pecking order. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Granted,
Alright.
they still have a chance of making it out, but I still have put them in there just because I see it happening.
Okay. I mean, so same. So my base my thing about Leeds United still, but I'll move. You see me?
All right. So for my relegation teams, firstly, I have Norwich. They just don't have the quality. I don't think their recruitment was good enough. They brought in some good players, but their recruitment is not good enough to keep them in the Premier League. Secondly, I originally had Brentford, but this was before Danny Ings left Southampton. And even though they brought in Broha and Armstrong, I just don't see them staying up, especially if Ward-Prowse leaves as well, which is rumored to do.
Listen,
There is no way they stay up.
listen. Don't speak it into being.
I want Ward-Prowse to go to Villa so badly.
Listen, stop it, dog.
I don't no, I'm sorry, like I'm genuinely sorry, but Ward-Prowse in this Villa team would be
Bro, them
so
brother, them all
phenomenal.
have them have Morgan Sons and dog. What them want Ward? Just kill me, dog. Kill me, dog. And you know
But
what? I don't even believe it anymore. I was genuinely not concerned about this. Until Vestergaard went to Leicester. I was
That as
not
well.
that.
Vestergaard went to Leicester this morning. Well, yesterday. That just seals it for me. That just seals
Ah.
it. The three best players left the club.
Oh yeah, by the way, I want to put this as well because I'm not going to get to put it anywhere else. I think Southampton is going to be very close to relegation, but because Southampton used to fighting this every year, I feel like them just going to be able to do it based off knowledge, and then Marcel will be able to sink because him not really fight this for a good amount of time. Anyway, continue.
Nah, but losing your three best players without like good enough replacements, and it's kind of late in the window now to get good enough replacements. Southampton are going down. And lastly, I have Crystal Palace. They lost a solid centre back pairing, brought in two decent centre backs as replacement.
I
But
think
I
this
don't
is a
have
bit
any.
Czech Piate and Gary Cahill versus thing there Gahey and Anderson.
Yeah,
I
but they
think
haven't played together before.
I think they
It's a
are
brand. It's a
Yeah,
brand
sure.
new defensive partnership,
Yeah,
which
sure,
has been
sure.
tested in the Prem.
Sure.
That's my reservation about it.
That's true.
And Patrick Vieira, I have zero faith in him. Zero faith.
That's fair. I mean, you can either have complete faith or zero faith in him.
So Palace, Southampton, Norwich. So
So
rest of
European-
Europe. So for Europe, for the listeners who don't know how the European places work, because kind of funny now, fifth place is automatic for Europa League, and sixth place is automatic for Conference League. This changes based on who wins the FA Cup and the AFL Cup. The team that wins the EFL Cup will take that sixth spot place for the Conference League, but since Man City win that every year, we can just assume that that won't be taken up by another team. And whoever wins the FA Cup will also get a European place unless it's a team that's already qualified for Europa League or the Champions League. And since that also happens, I think it's safe to assume that fifth and sixth will be Europa League and seventh will be the Conference League. Fair enough?
Basically, yeah.
So fifth, sixth, seventh. I want to go first actually. So for the Europa League, I have Leicester and Aston Villa. Leicester, they're just going to fall short of the Champions League again, and they don't have Fofana, which is one of my favorite centre backs. Vardy is going to slow down this season, in my opinion, and I don't think between Iheanacho and Daka they'll be able to keep up the amount of goals that he has. Plus, Madison's also very injury prone. So I think that they're just not going to have enough in the tank to get them over the Champions League line. But they'll definitely get Europa League again. Maybe they qualify for Champions League by winning the Europa League. That's something I could see them doing. But Leicester is fifth. Aston Villa is who I have in sixth. Ings is guaranteed goals once he's not at a very big club. Leon Bailey is an experiment, but between Buendia and Ings, and you still have the likes of Ollie Watkins in your side, they improved their defense with Twanzebe. They have Emi Martinez. Their defense was good from the start because their defense was pretty good last season. And it kind of got shaken up towards the end, but I think Twanzebe can shred that up a little bit. And they're also linked with Ward Pros. Not sure if he will go there, but if he does, there's nothing stopping them from getting sixth.
By the way, Tanzebe is on a full, right?
It's on a loan.
Oh, Jana.
Full season loan.
Alright.
And in seventh, this one, I wasn't going to put them this high, but Kane is leaving Tottenham. I originally had Tottenham in seventh, but without Harry Kane, they're not getting Europe without winning the Conference League. So I put Arsenal there.
Yeah, Jana. Just enjoy it like that. That's what I put down.
It's not because I think Arsenal are better than the other teams. Like, obviously, they are better. They have the likes of Saka, they have the likes of Smith Rowe. Tierney's a baller. Aubameyang, if he turns up on his day, if he gets back his form from season before last, then they're definitely making a European spot. But I think overall, they just don't have the quality to get higher than that. And none of the teams below them have the quality to get above them. If I look at the teams that I have below Arsenal, you have Leeds, who might pip them to that spot, but I don't think it's going to happen. You have Tottenham, who are going to lose their only reliable source of goals barring Son. And Kane links up with Son really well, so his goals might be affected as well. Yeah, Newcastle, Everton, West Ham, none of these teams really challenge for that 7th place spot. So I think Arsenal will get the Conference League spot.
Okay. Who next?
Mio, go.
Okay, so I have I have Liverpool and Spurs in the Europa League spots. Then I have Villa in 7th. How do you
Before you explain, you said that you expect Kane to leave Spurs, right?
not really. What the thought that's coming out of the Spurs camp right now is that he's going to sign an extension, and the extension will include a release clause for next season.
Brother, man, dog. If
I
him
don't.
didn't have sense with him career, him would have pushed. I don't care about the Tottenham fan, brother. Yo,
Kane leave for
he's
his
going
own
to be
career.
29 next season.
For,
Is he fast? Brother,
look at it
is he
this way:
fast, dog?
if Kane doesn't leave this season, City are getting Haaland. They are
Exactly.
going.
Well,
They're going for Haaland over Kane 100% of the time. Lautaro is more likely to leave into next season. Kane is going to be 29. This is his last chance for a really big move.
Brother,
Unless
dog.
Man United are desperate and miss out on both Haaland and Lautaro, and then have to spend 90 million on Kane, which I don't think is going to happen. So he needs to leave this summer. He needs to
also,
leave.
I just don't see Daniel Levy selling him so late in the window without getting in a replacement first. And the latter deal collapsed thanks to a certain club and relegated to a Florentino striker, Vagovic, for
Do
50
some
million.
fired, you know.
Yeah. And we're going to need 2 strikers to replace Kane, so I really don't see him going this summer, to be honest.
All right, so Kane, Spurs in 6th, Liverpool in 5th.
5th, and I have Villa in 7th.
Villa
I just think that Villa
in
is
7th.
just
Okay, that's solid. That's
yeah, I
solid.
just think Villa recruitment has been like really, really, really solid. But PSG and maybe Man United, they may have one of the best transfer winners of all the clubs in Europe this summer.
I think I'd honestly put them above United. Where Villa is trying to get to versus where United is trying to get to. Let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah. For 5th, I have Leicester. 6th, Spurs. 7th, Arsenal. And 8th, Villa.
Okay, okay.
The Leicester pick because Leicester always bought the top 4. So Leicester guaranteed 5th, like how Arsenal used to be guaranteed 4th. And then Spurs at 6. Well, regardless whether or not they keep Kane, I think Spurs will finish 6 because Spurs always have this mid-season collapse. They can start good enough because Sonny still have a good player. They still have a good midfield. They have signed a good centre back. Albeit they only have 2 centre backs right now. They have good defenders, and the manager is not a bad manager in my opinion. Nuno is a good manager. So and Son will score goals. Will score goals, especially if he's the only one there. Especially if he's the main goal threat. So Spurs will start good and rain away during the middle of the season and come back close to the end and finish 6th. Then Arsenal. I have them 7th, but I think Arsenal will do better than 7th because Arteta. I think Arteta is a good manager and he will realize his mistakes and fix them in good time. And they'll finish 7th. So you can imagine early season Arsenal will be around 15, 16, 17. And they'll pick it up
20th.
somewhere around January, February. And secure what was Conference League spot. And if like, I think people put too much faith in Villa. I think they'll flop. So Villa 8th.
Fair enough. Man, so no. Your mic's kind of dying.
Oh, really? You can hear me now?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. I don't even remember, I don't remember who I had in 5th. Let me check. I think it was Leicester. Yeah, Leicester. I think Leicester not going to reach top four because of, again, the Patson Daka thing. Their Jamie Vardy thing is kind of waning, dog. You see me? Because Vardy is more of a pen merchant right now. You see me? To be very honest with you, and eventually, like he's just going to fall off completely. So where do they get their goals from? Iheanacho is much more of a creative forward than he's an actual forward. So I don't really know where their potency is going to come from. You get me? Um, where else do I go? I think the reason why I don't think they're gonna finish so high because I'm not the hugest fan of how Nuno comes into the squad, because I feel like he's going to have to change a lot to fit what he does. Although to be fair, what I feel like the best way to get something out of Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez would be a back three, isn't it? But I don't think they genuinely have a lot of players that Nuno would like for himself, isn't it?
Mm.
So and then if they get Kane, let's be very fair. If they get Kane and if they get Kane to stay, this will never be anywhere close to the same Kane that we get. Never.
Wait, hold up. So that means that you have Liverpool in 7th?
No.
Lower than that?
Eighth.
You
Wow.
have Liverpool in 8th.
You're first.
Yeah. I might wait. Think there is that a qualified spot?
No, 7th is the last qualifying spot, I believe.
So that means I won't have to thing there explain that. All right. So
No, you need to explain why you don't have Liverpool in a European place.
we'll get to that later on. You see me?
Who could you possibly have in 7th over Liverpool?
So I
Everton?
explained fifth and sixth, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have Villa in seventh. Same reason. I echo what Terence said. I don't think Aston Villa is going to have as great a season as people think. You see me? I
But you're
think
going
that
to have a greater season than Liverpool.
yeah, sure. Again, I'll get to that in due time. Danny Ings will more than likely pick up a very bad injury because again, people
No,
really
that's
like
just bad mind. That's just bad mind.
it
It,
is, but it is.
happens. It happens.
I can't lie. I can't lie. It is kind of bad minds too, but it's also something that just genuinely happens anyway. So, you see me, he even got injured last season. So, Danny Ings is gonna get injured. I don't really understand why they got him to replace Ollie Watkins, who was a good striker. To be very honest, because I don't think they'll partner Ollie Watkins and Ings. You see me?
But here's the thing though. Here's the
Liam
thing.
Bailey probably.
Just a quick segue. Even if Ings get injured, Watkins is probably the best backup in the league in terms
Oh,
of
no
like
problem.
to be behind Ings.
Oh,
So I
no
don't
problem.
think they'll ever have a problem with goals this season.
But I don't think they'll have a proper starting 11 at the same time because they're so talented, you see me? Liam
Fair.
Bailey won't hit the ground running yet, but he'll probably be good, to be fair. That's a few that dog, isn't me? So he'll probably be good. I don't know if they're going to keep Anwar El Ghazi. So for the most part, I feel like as a functional unit, they'll be good, but like, they'll just be a little bit overrated, you know? 70 is
Alright.
quite high for Aston Villa anyway. Liverpool now. To be very honest, I don't really have because everybody knows my views on people like Joe Gomez. I don't think Joe Gomez is a very good defender. I don't feel like the
Joe Gomez isn't starting.
The ball cannot remember that.
Oh yeah, can't hear me.
No.
Yeah, that's genuinely neither here nor there because I don't know who's going to do it. And again, I have Kanate as our next flop. You see me? Because I don't
It's
think that you can hear me. Yeah. I don't think Kanate is going to hit the ground running, and I feel like he's going to be another Thiago where he's going to just be like really bad at the start and then average throughout, and then like every one of Liverpool's problems will just be echoed through him. You see me? So again, and most importantly, Van Dijk not going to protect nobody. He's not going to protect anybody. He's not going to make Joe Gomez look good. He's not going to make thing there. I don't even think Matip is fit anymore. Is he a footballer?
active.
No offense. Is he a footballer anymore, dog? Is
The
it
club.
Ibrahim Kanate? He's probably not going to even protect Ibrahim Kanate. You get me? Because I'm leg injured, dog. You see me? Wait, what happened to him again? Was it the ACL?
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, from experience, ligament injuries are really bad. You see me? So you can tell that he's gonna lose in pace. He's gonna lose, and the defending basically, especially if he's not given a chance. Look at like I echo what happened with America Laporta. He was one of the top defenders, if not the second best center back in the league in the 1890 season. Oh yeah, it was the 1890 season. And then got the injury, and then can't even get past Ruben Diaz. You see me? What if Ibrahim Kanate stands thing there, takes that spot from Virgil van Dijk on a worst case scenario? You see me? There's genuinely a lot of things to pray about Liverpool, but most importantly, I don't think they've improved as a squad, and they've kind of gone back in a
They
way.
have. You're right about it. They haven't. You're right about that.
But even on the pitch, they've kind of regressed as a squad. Look at a man like Sadio Mane. You see me? Sadio Mane has not been the same since these injuries started happening, and it's a big case of burnout. And then the thing is about Liverpool, where I can say, okay, Man City can even have a season of burnout and jump back. Liverpool don't have anything aiming for. They've done everything. What's there left to do? Isn't it? And this is not far-fetched, by the way, because remember, Jurgen Klopp almost made Borussia Dortmund get relegated.
True.
Exactly. But people were like, for Dortmund too, Scott. Yeah.
Well, you
Everyone
haven't
was
had Spurs for that, to be honest.
exactly. Everybody was bad dog, isn't it? Because let's take nothing from let's take nothing from last year. Liverpool were terrible. Be very honest with yourself. Liverpool were terrible. Firmino. And here's the thing: Mo Salah probably won't even fire this season, isn't it? Because and it's the only thing I can say is I don't think Diogo Jota is gonna have a really bad injury this season. But what happens if Mo Salah turns into like Sadio Mane? Isn't it? Because Mo Salah never used to work half as hard as Sadio Mane, isn't it? But what happens when that goal dries up now? Like Liverpool could genuinely take a big tumble this year, and it would be like they don't have anything to boost any morale. They don't make signings. They're still lacking central midfielders. You see me? They're still they basically don't have a fixed backline at the moment. You see me? There's genuine issues at Liverpool. I don't know what's it. Again, everything I see from Liverpool or everything I say in my predictions is a potential worst case scenario, dog. But like these things could genuinely happen. But anyway, that's mine still.
So the next four,
It's 3.
Leicester, three. Leicester, easily. Need me to go into that. Leicester will remain a top team. And Aston Villa.
Why us? There's so many people that have Aston Villa finishing high, dog, and I'm genuinely not. It's not. Oh, I'm not convinced. But there's been so many changes. Why would you? They are a relatively complete side, but them still. They're. I don't think that they're top half ready. You see me? Or not top half ready. Top European qualification ready as a team. You see me?
The reason why I've said it is partial bias because of Ian Bailey. And two, the fact that they have gotten a player now that you can realistically see consistent performance from. Because the man come off of the bench today and nearly saved the match.
That's true.
The man was playing so good in a first game with players he never played before in our life.
Yeah.
Right? So there is a player and to look at it, the only teams in the league we have players that you know will put in a constant performance week in, week out, those players are in the top half of the league. Right? And that is not much teams, to be very honest. And Aston Villa now has a player like that. Right? Him feeding in passes to Ollie Watkins week in, week out, it can probably put Watkins into that bracket, a week in, week top quality player. And the more you have one player, feed one player performance get consistent, and more players you go have putting in consistent performances is another domino effect. But again, that go all right Leon Bailey putting in a consistent performance game in, game out.
Which I don't think will happen. But anyway, I digress. What's his seventh choice?
Leicester, Villa, and Spurs.
Spurs. Bro,
Yeah.
I have Spurs like finishing full mid-table, dog.
Me just remember say they might lose Kane. Keep Kane, 7th. Lose Kane. These are peas. The rest of the league is so.
No, here's the caveat to that now. Keep Kane. What pushes Kane to even be? He's going to be 29 next season.
Worse like how he significantly forced Sterling.
Kane, like for example, last season when Kane was firing, Kane was happy in a dog. If you keep Kane this season, he's going to be a miserable mess, dog.
7th, I still want to say Spurs because the rest of the league, especially our teams like Arsenal, have such a high level of inconsistency that to the point it's worse than even Spurs. Don't see them getting a Europa spot.
A Europa League spot.
Europa League spot. The inconsistency, they pertain to a lot of teams in the Prem this year. You go see what I mean. We have sometimes where teams like our Palace we get up and probably mash up a Man U or a Chelsea, and then the next season lose to a Brentford.
That's true.
That is the level of inconsistency where all of the other teams have in the league this year. It's not like last season where every team looked like a solid mid-tier team and then you have the other good teams. There's a lot of inconsistency in the league this year because a lot of players left. Most of them even left for better teams in the league. So, as some see it. So, first,
So you have them capitalizing. So it's not you're saying Spurs is good. You have Spurs capitalizing
they're not capitalizing the facts of the rest of the league and them down bad basically.
Yeah. That's kind of what I have with Arsenal too.
I think that's a bit far-fetched, but we live by the predictions, we die by the predictions.
Nobody's giving love to Everton or West Ham.
They're finishing mid-table.
Ah,
They're going to be so
Everton.
mediocre.
I was very, very, very I was very close to replacing Tottenham Hotspur and saying Everton was going to finish in 6th. But I don't know. I feel like I should decide against it and put Everton back. So yeah.
I don't think Rafa Benitez is going to know what to do with this
Thinking
team.
of boys, dog.
This Everton team's the
That in
definition
2
of
weeks,
mediocre.
I guarantee that in 2 weeks, Rafa will kick Hammers out of the squad. 2 weeks.
He won't know what to do with Hammers.
Hmm.
So, Golden Boot. Let's just go rapid fire. Who do you think is getting the Golden Boot?
Golden Boot, Lukaku, Salah.
By Salah.
If Kane got to City, then Lukaku, Salah, or City have one proven lethal 300 plus goal striker. We go to collect all of them creative play there from man like Mount, Kai, Jake, Werner. If in the playoff I left wing, it just wow. To be very honest, me see Lukaku getting goals this season, and then now if Kane goes to City, that's one other piece of blowout. Goals galore for Kane. Because again, if players focus on Kane will getting assists. Then if they focus on the wings, Kane go getting goals. Because put Kane in front of goal and give him an opportunity. He rarely. Give him opportunities where Sterling and Gabriel Jesus did they get, and those are goals.
I think Kane will get it again.
Kane?
Mainly because for him to get if he doesn't leave this summer, right? For him to get his move next summer, he's going to have to perform once again. So I think he'll get Golden Boot.
Okay. So no, Golden Boot.
Adam Armstrong. I say this.
Enjoy your Golden Boot when you go down to the championship. Terrence?
Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes.
How many penalties, Terrence?
Do you think
How
you're
many
going to
penalties?
penalty and inshallah win the title?
11 penalties.
Oh,
Yeah,
Man,
How much free kick?
11 penalties, 4 free kicks.
Good.
I wish.
And he'll
I
finish
wish.
with what? 23 goals.
If Bruno
Is it-
Fernandes wins the Golden Boot, I'll get a tattoo of him.
Wow.
wow, really? Okay.
I mean, you see me, Mayo, don't edit that out, you see me.
I won't.
Besides, I was right about Liverpool last year, so you have no reason to doubt me. Scott.
I have Lukaku as getting Golden Boot.
That's bold. Tuchel is quite conservative.
Yeah, man. Just the endless cycle of petty in our little group, you see me, dog. Man United fans thinking that Chelsea will win the league. Chelsea fans thinking that United will win the league.
I genuinely have faith in Lukaku.
Yeah,
Lukaku
man,
is
yeah.
a class striker.
Yeah, man. You said that when you was there, right? Yeah, man. It's the first touch of
Of course I did.
Yeah, man.
It might have the first touch of a dead mongoose, but he
Oh,
still knows how
wow.
to find the goal.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
What way did I say that them time? Anyway, time for
That's
our
Alright, so Golden Glove.
Oh, Golden Glove. Alex
That's
McCarthy.
tough, actually.
I'm
You
joking.
go-
I'm joking. I genuinely joking about the dog, Alex McCarthy. Nah.
Hold on.
Emmy Martinez is the boring choice, dog. Genuinely.
True.
Honestly speaking, I think if United keep either Henderson or De Gea as their number one goalkeeper throughout the season, they're getting Golden Glove.
All right, see me as it. Hugo Lloris.
Same. I'm gonna show some love to Hugo.
I say Mendy.
Or
Mendy or Edison.
I mean,
Or
that don't really need.
if Liverpool defense live up to home seat, Alisson can get it too.
All right, let's not be ridiculous here. All right.
player of the season.
Clear.
Player of
Bruno
the season.
Fernandes.
Okay. That
Player of the
doesn't.
season.
I'm willing to put Bruno as player of the season. Just not Golden Boot.
Or Grealish, to be honest.
Greece won't play.
Grealish won't play enough to get player of the season. He'll barely get player of the second half.
Best player. Lukaku.
Lukaku, dog.
Brother,
I get the premise.
women have the offense of Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way me not see live. If Kane go to City, then Kane is a shout too. Although them go bias and no want the Kane because no one likes Kane in this league for some reason. I don't know why. But,
Because the man is a thief.
well, I'm not gonna dispute that. But Lukaku or Kane if he go City.
Guy
Most
Havertz.
assists.
Damn. Okay.
He's a top baller, dog. Rate the man so highly, dog. Guy Havertz, a big man, dog. Anyway, young player of the season.
Mason Greenwood.
How old is
Mason
Liam?
Greenwood.
Liam Bailey is what, 22, right?
I think Bailey is too old.
23.
I think Bailey is too old.
I said
Is it
Kyle
listen,
Walker this season.
Listen, if Mason Greenwood can find his way into a squad with Rashford, Cavani, and Sancho, and a squad that's challenging for the Premier League and scoring goals, there's no way he doesn't win Young Player of the Season.
The only
There's
way
absolutely no
Greenwood will
way.
win is if Greenwood is United's starting striker. For
No,
at least 30 games.
He's starting. He's going to be starting for the first couple weeks up until October. He has a chance to cement himself ahead of Cavani. That's his time. If he can keep himself in the starting 11, or at least within regular rotation where he plays every other week, he's getting Golden Boy.
Okay.
I don't know why I nearly said Pedri a while ago. But
Yo, that boss so funny, dog.
young player of the year. What are candidates this year for young player? Mount is still a candidate for it, right?
I don't think so. Mount is gonna be 23 or 24.
Wouldn't be one candidate. It's up to 21.
I don't think so because Sterling was there 2 years ago. No.
He makes say Sterling a turn 25 or 26 other day, you know. The man young. Man, Sterling a play for so long now, me think him like Jordan Henderson. You see this man I play football my whole life, yet the man young still. Although Henderson at 30. But yeah,
So
Saka go be in the shout. Saka will be because Saka realistically are one of the only young talent in the league, proper young talent. And then English, so you know the bias. So Saka go be there.
I have Pedro Neto.
Who?
Pedro Neto.
Oh, yeah, that's a good shot, to be honest. That's really a good shot. Think I'm gonna go with Pedro Neto as well.
So,
Alright.
top sister.
Top sister. Let me think. Probably Kai.
Sancho.
Sancho
Sanchez.
indeed. I see.
I'm willing to
I see
down
it
that
happening.
Sancho Hill.
Yeah, I think Sancho is a better option.
Once he's not assisting Bruno, I'm fine.
I want to say Mount, KDB,
Oh, bro.
Mount, KDB or Bruno. I see I'm
Mount.
it. Arcade.
Mount. Bro. Come on, dog.
Be honest as a Chelsea fan. A lot, and I mean a lot of Mount passes were wasted last season.
Yeah, a lot of Mount's passes were wasted last year, but at the same time, a lot of Mount's passes weren't exactly high quality. You see, Mount isn't exactly a final ball expert. You know, he's good at
Not
it, but he's not a final ball expert.
Yes, but there is the room for growth. And with a centre forward now, when I know him willing to put in trust in, say, all right, if I can get the ball to him, there's a good chance he score. He will be more likely or more willing per se to try and find that final third pass.
All right. So yeah,
So I
That's
think that's it.
that
That's
should
all
be
on
it.
our agenda. Anything else, lads? Any parting comments you want to make?
Yeah, man. Southampton, them now get relegated. Them now get relegated, dog.
Are you willing to put anything on that?
No.
a tattoo, son. You come on, a tattoo. Don't
Listen,
be a
dog.
chicken.
Listen. Adam Armstrong, you better come good, dog. You have put too much stock in you now, dog. You have put too much stock in you.
Question: is he even in your FPL?
Listen, that's not important. Listen, that's not important, dog. Yo, if them don't get a centre back, I might cry, dog.
They won't though.
Anyway, move on, dog. Just wrap this
All
up.
right, so this has been the Corner League podcast. It's been a very good episode, if I do say so myself. Very bold predictions, very entertaining. If you enjoyed it, if you managed to listen through, drop a like on the video, subscribe. We look forward to you next time. Peace.